myself. We're going to have Michelle share, and we've got some other people on as well. I see Leah, I see Trent, and I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties, but you know what I love about this all is we're real people making it work, and you can do this from absolutely anywhere. So I'm going to share a little bit about how I got to be here tonight. We're going to go through a few of our favorite impact products. And Kacie, I'm going to get you to share again because I just pressed the record button when you share about your favorite products. So how I got to be here was, it was actually a year ago in August that I had a few of my good friends tell me, oh my gosh, you need to try this liquid collagen. Now, I had been taking a powdered collagen for about 2 years and really noticed no difference. And within 2 weeks of trying this liquid collagen, I wanted more. I wanted to know more about this amazing company. And it was enough for me to leave behind a previous business I had spent 7 years building. I'm a single mama. My son Mav is turning 8 next week. And yeah, so for me to leave, come over to a company, start from fresh, really, means that it's a product that is fantastic as well as a business. So that's a little bit about who I am. And like Kacie, I've brought some of my friends and family along for the ride as well. My partner Trent is on here, and he takes the products, and he's had some amazing results as well. So a few things about the company. So I'm someone who's all about clean ingredients. And for me, the ingredients are super important. So we have something called a transparency promise. Everything is gluten-free. There is no artificial colors, flavors, no artificial sugars, no parabens, no fillers. And then also on every bottle, there's a stamp called GMP certification, and that stands for Good Manufacturing Practice. And that means they are the highest quality of supplements. And then something that's very different and unique from these supplements to, something that you might find in the health food store or somewhere else is that we use whole raw food ingredients. And so the products are not synthetic. So for anybody who's newer to the supplement world, 90% of the supplements on the market are synthetic, which means they're lab derived. And one of the easiest ways to see if a product is synthetic is to look for vitamin C in the ingredient list. And if it says ascorbic acid, that is a synthetic vitamin. And I have not seen a single collagen other than Ternance that has our antioxidant formula from raw whole foods. Most are from synthetics. So that's one of the things that I love about the products is the quality. And because they're those raw whole ingredients, our bodies are going to absorb them, know what to do with them, and we're going to have amazing results. So my absolute favorite thing about the company is the testimonies of people, including myself and my family members and my friends, that are just having the best results with the products, and unlike anything else I've ever tried. So, Kacie, I know you've noticed the difference right away, similar to I have as well. And I wake up every day to, a testimony. My friend Chantal just messaged me today. I've known her for a few years, and her face after 2 months of taking the Glow, her energy is up, her sleep is better, and her face just looks so rested and glowing and healthy. So we're going to talk about a few of our favorite products. The other thing that I love is that they are proprietary formulas, and we use advanced technologies, and we have a scientific advisory board. So we have scientists and doctors who come up with the products of the best in each category. And that is pretty cool. And for example, this collagen has 7 patents. It is very unique. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more later. We're going to first start with the enriched digestive enzyme. because this was one of my absolute favorites, but also it's a kind of a fun little science experiment. Can you guys see my full screen okay? I'm on my phone, which I wasn't anticipating tonight. All right, so we need digestive enzymes to process and digest our food. We start producing less digestive enzymes as we get older. So I'd love you guys to throw in the chat, what are some common digestive challenges or gut related things that we sometimes can struggle with? Throw it in the chat. Pasta. So food intolerances, things like heartburn, indigestion, but our gut can be responsible for more than just our digestion. It is our second brain. So things like our hormone health, our immune system. And one of the things I love about the products is it's kind of the gift that keeps on giving. So I've been taking the products now for 10 months and I have not been sick for 6 months. So it took a while for me to really work on my gut, but gut health is the cornerstone of all of our health. And I myself have been gluten sensitive for most of my life, and this has helped tremendously. So I'm going to show you how this works, and then I'm going to have a few people come on and share. So this is a highly processed food. It is a pudding pack, and we're going to do a little science experiment to show you just how it works. And we take 1 to 2 of these before our main meal. So we had lunch out here on the deck today. We had chicken and cooked vegetables and some lettuce. And we took our digestive enzyme before. Now, I think it was 2 nights ago, we were out for dinner and we forgot our digestive enzymes. I was exhausted after dinner. So digestion can really take a lot of energy. So we're going to put a capsule into this pudding pack, but first I'm going to show you how thick that is. You guys can all see that is a thick pudding pack. We're going to see it work its magic here. And I never get tired of this because it fascinates me and it reminds me to take my Enrich before I eat. So I'm going to first get Trent to jump on and share, we got the products and he's going to tell you, but he has heartburn or had heartburn all the time. And so when we got the Enrich in, I asked him if he would give it a go. So Trent, do you want to share what happened when you started taking the Enrich?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I'm getting older, so my digestive enzymes naturally are kind of deteriorating because I'm 50. But yeah, I had heartburn almost daily and indigestion all the time. And I started taking the enzymes, and within about 2 weeks, week and a half, 2 weeks, my heartburn was gone. And actually, Benny noticed it first because we were eating, I think I was eating steak and red wine, which is a pretty big trigger for me. And then she's like, "Hey, babe, you haven't talked about heartburn for like a few days now." And I said, "Yeah, well, yeah, that's true." And that was what, September, I think. So a lot of months, like say 10 months, 9 or 10 months. And I haven't really had heartburn at all. Like 2 or 3 times when I've really overeaten and forgotten to take my Enrich that day. But that's it. Like that, I went from almost every day to none. And it's just amazing. And I feel better. I lost 10 pounds within 2 weeks because I just, released all my extra stuff. And yeah, I just feel great.
So even while Trent was sharing that, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's like bubbling and liquefying. So it's really showing how it's going to break down the food and help you absorb the nutrients. So my friend Chantel, I was telling you, who is glowing, she also messaged me last week and she just got blood results back. And before she started with Trinot, she was trying to get her iron levels up. And for 7 months, she was taking an iron supplement. And after 7 months, they did a blood test and no difference. 2 months after taking the Enrich and the Trinot products, because she was actually digesting the nutrients from her food, her spinach, her proteins, her iron levels are up more in the last 2 months than they were 7 months. So it's pretty amazing what your body can do when you give it what it needs. And this is not just a digestive enzyme. It also has a stabilized pre and probiotic in it. So it has 7 digestive enzymes. It's going to help you break down your carbs, your fats, your sugars, your proteins, your fibers. And then it also has the stabilized pre and probiotic that's going to really help with your gut health. We also love that they're stabilized because you can throw these in your picnic basket, your purse. You can take them traveling with you. Absolutely fantastic. Kacie, can you remind me, was anyone else going to share about the Enrich?
Well, I can say one quick thing about it because I actually just started using it more regularly, and I've been really fortunate. I don't have a lot of issues. Occasionally would get heartburn, but usually like that was just really bad choices like red wine and pizza in the same night or something like that. But one thing that I've always struggled with is red meat. So a couple weeks ago, I really could only eat red meat once a week because it would take me 2 or 3 days to digest it. So I would be bloated and uncomfortable, and I love it though. So I'd still do it every so often, but I really couldn't do it often as much as I wanted to because of that. So I have been taking Enrich, and I ate a steak a couple weeks ago, and I was amazed that the next day I was just back to normal. I didn't have any discomfort. So that's my small little story about it that I wanted to share, just because it really does help. And like I said the other day on Facebook, the proof is in the pudding.
It's so true. I also have heard one of the things I love about the products, because they're whole food supplements. I actually give them to my son. So he's at day camp this week, and he ate way too much breakfast. He had like a huge bowl of cereal and then a huge bowl of my homemade soup for breakfast. And he was like, I don't feel good. I shook up an Enrich in a little water and juice, and he took a few sips and he was bounding out the door in about 5 minutes. I've also heard of people giving them to their pets. So one of my friends, Candace, her dog was struggling with acid reflux. And so they decided to give it to the dog, and it worked really well. As well, I've heard it's good for pets if they get into something like garbage or chocolate, instead of having to do any of the charcoal or things like that. So I love that they're safe. We can use them on our family. And another little hack I have, I used to tease that Trent's dessert was Tums. So he basically, and this is how I noticed, we finished dinner, and normally his habit is we finish dinner and he would get up and go grab Tums. And then after about a week, we were eating dinner and he didn't get up after dinner. But if you forget to take them, or, you're in your car and you eat a sandwich too fast, like I did once, you can actually use them as instant relief. And you just would break the capsule over or under your tongue. And for me, it goes away in seconds. It's bananas. It's awesome. So good to know for that. All right. Are you guys ready for this? We're going to pour it out and see what happens. And my mind is blown every time. We're going to give it one last stir here. So Kacie, what did you have for dinner tonight?
I actually haven't ate dinner yet.
Oh, you haven't had dinner yet. Okay. Well, let's pretend this is like a hamburger or something like that. All the nutrients. And we're going to see what happens. You guys see that?
Yeah.
It is
it's like skim milk.
It is like skim milk, which it is a skim milk pudding. So that is going to really kind of just show you, when we say impact products, they really do work within, that was just a couple minutes. And it's not going to come out like that. So I always like to disclaimer, I have friends on both sides of the spectrum. So my friend Beth, who has fibromyalgia, she was taking the Enrich, and she used to have IBS symptoms, and she was actually taking the Enrich just for her gut health. But she noticed after a few months, she had no more IBS symptoms. And then my friend Leslie on the other side of the spectrum was not a regular bowel movement person, and she is now a hashtag poop a day person. And she says she feels so much better. And yeah, it's just really helped so much. So that is the Enriched Digestive Enzyme. I absolutely love this product. The last one I'm going to share, and I could go on and on, is my friend Erica. She started taking the digestive enzyme back in December, and she called me 2 months later, and she was so excited. She had no idea this was going to happen, but her migraines went away. So she was having 3 to 15 migraines a month for the past 20 years. And when she started taking on her gut health, she has not had to use any of that migraine medication, which is incredible for her. All right, so we're going to now move on to Glow, which is my first love with Ternat. And this is our type 1 liquid collagen. So why is it important that it's type 1? Our bodies are made up of type 1 collagen. So that's what we need to be supplementing with. And then it is a liquid collagen. So a liquid hydrolyzed collagen is going to have more of an absorption than a powder or a pill. So I was taking a powdered collagen for 2 years. I really noticed no difference. And then within 2 weeks on this collagen, I noticed more of a difference than 2 years on a powder. So quality really does make a huge difference. A few things I always like to educate people on in terms of reading labels of a collagen is, number one, importance is the protein. So this collagen here has 10 grams of protein. It also has 11 grams of collagen peptides. So the peptides are the smallest molecule, and that means it's going to absorb right when it hits your tongue. And then they've also added the beauty benefits. So one of the side effects when you start taking our collagen is that you start to glow. And I know, Kacie, we've seen your pictures, and Michelle, you guys, you can just see it in your face. So it has a clinical dose of biotin. It also has the hyaluronic acid, which is great for your skin, also like WD-40 for your joints. And then I mentioned before, it has that antioxidant formula, which is going to make it more bioavailable for your body. So this is 7 patents on this collagen. There is nothing like it on the market. My good friend, Jen Laurie, who's also my nutritionist, I sent it over to her and I was like, what do you think? And she said, oh my gosh, the ingredients are fantastic. Let me give it a try. And within 5 days, she had a back injury that she'd been trying all the different modalities, powdered collagen. She was trying chiro, physio, and nothing had helped. 5 days on our liquid collagen, and she's back at the CrossFit gym. She absolutely loves it. Sorry, just letting a few more people in here. So my story with the collagen is, the first thing I noticed was my joints. So I'm now 41. Kacie and I actually went to elementary school together, you guys. So we are the same age, the same vintage. And I don't know about you, but as you start to get older, your body starts to break down a little bit. So one of the things with collagen is we produce less and less as we get older. We start losing about 1% after our 20s. And I also just learned recently that the first 5 years of menopause, your collagen levels take a huge hit. So as a woman, but also men, Trent takes the collagen as well. My dad takes the collagen. Kacie, you know my dad from years ago, but he sent me his before and after pictures, but it was just of his eyes. This was his before and after pictures. He's like, take a look, it's working. But my parents also started taking it for their joints. So I had been battling with plantar fasciitis for 8 years. I had tried everything. I could only wear, the cushy shoes. I had to be very careful of steep inclines. Pretty much everything would aggravate it. And within 2 weeks of being on the collagen, the pain started going away to the point now where it has not bothered me in 10 months. And I've worn high heels, cowboy boots. I'm wearing flip-flops in the summer. And normally the summer is the worst because I'm wearing crappy shoes. I'm drinking and eating ice cream and things like that tend to cause more inflammation in our bodies. The other thing, my hair is in a braid today, but I could not grow my hair past about this length. And I tried everything. I admittedly was like following TikTok on all the different hair oils and things to grow my hair. And within a few months, my hair had grown more than it had in a full year. It was absolutely incredible. So this collagen, one shot, before bed is what I do. You can also do something called collagen loading. So if you're trying to get your levels up, you can do 2 shots a day for the first month. And that will just help kind of get your levels up. Michelle, do you want to share your experience on the collagen?
Yeah. Well, the collagen is amazing because, for one, I never even realized it until you said about Kacie and I were talking about our hair, and I said, I don't understand why my hair is so itchy. I don't have dandruff. I don't have dry skin. It's because I've got all these little, I'm going to say pubic hairs coming up from my scalp now. But my hair has grown like long, and it's thickening. It's good for that. I also love it that I get a good sleep when I do get to sleep. I am 48 years old, or 47. I had Kacie figure that age out.
47.
There we go. 47 years old. I've got 2 grandchildren that I take care of the majority of the time that they're there. Their dad's a truck driver, so I have to keep up to them. I've realized my energy level is totally up, but I also do a lot of mojo and zest. So I do mojo in the morning, zest at night at work. I work night shift full time. I haven't had an energy drink, well, in a long time. I was addicted to those, as well as any caffeine products that I can put into my system. So now I do that, and I feel good. I feel great overall health. My gut health is repairing. I take Enrich every day, regardless. I take 2 tablets in the morning, 1 tablet at lunch, and 2 tablets at night when I eat. I do overload on that because of the fact that I am trying to repair my gut. I've done a lot of bad things to myself. But other than that, I like all the products that I've been using, to be honest.
That's amazing. We're going to talk, you mentioned the zest and the mojo. We're going to talk about that next. But I just love hearing, how it's doing wonders for you. I'm going to have Jill come on, and Jill, would you be able to share kind of your and your husband's experience, with the collagen, but also we just, we're on a call with your friend Jenny, who has fibromyalgia, and she was sharing her incredible results. She can't be on because I believe she's at her son's baseball. Would you be able to just share a little bit about your experience with you and your husband and one of your besties from childhood?
Sure. So like everybody else, I started by stalking Benny a little bit, seeing like what was going on. She was looking good. Business was going good. And I had been taking collagen for about a year. I took the powdered stuff in my coffee, which made my coffee taste great, but it didn't do anything. And then from about January to March, I started taking marine collagen because my hair was falling out, and not just like a little, like my kids are older. It's not postpartum. It was coming out handful by handful to the point where like the back of my head was balding. I was lucky it wasn't like the front of my hair so much because I'm too vain. I would have worn a hat for the rest of my life, and the sides. And so I decided that, I did some research and I figured out that this collagen was the best one on the market. But I also wanted to start this collagen because my husband works overtime. During the pandemic, I quit my 20-year career and I stay home with our kids. So I am lucky enough that my husband goes to work, but he works a lot of overtime. And we are the same age, and it's a physical job, and it's kicking his butt. And every day he would walk in that door behind me limping. And he's only 42, and he was walking in here like he was 75. And I've never been able to make him do anything ever in his life before, but I thought that a shot would be easy enough for him to do. So I convinced him that we were going to try this together. And we did. And within 1 bottle each, so within 15 days, my hair stopped falling out. Like it went from a handful to a week later to like a clump to a week later, maybe about 20 hairs, until I sent Benny a picture and I'm like, there's 6 hairs. I lost 6 hairs. And I was finally confident enough to dye my hair again, which it's not a huge deal to some people, but I have dyed my hair since I was 12 years old and nobody has ever seen my real hair color. And now apparently it's gray and I'm not okay with that. So that was like my big to do. And like, since then, like I started in probably the end of April, my hair is shiny. I can wear it out again. It's growing like a weed. It's soft. Like I know like hair is like a little vain, but my God, do I love having good hair. But my husband doesn't limp anymore. My husband, his skin is looking better. My husband's sciatica doesn't stop him. He has really bad feet as well. I don't know if it's all men, but men feet are just but he can walk again and he's not complaining about it so much. And a little side note is he wouldn't let me take a picture of his hair before we started because it was thin and he has, you know, very fair hair. And now 2 months later, my husband has a ponytail and it's all regrowing, like you said, like those pubic hairs whole top of his head. And like, he's now like, I think I'm going to grow my hair. And I'm like, what, you're going to compete with me? You're going to grow your hair as long as mine? He's like, I think I will. And it's really improving his confidence. And that's amazing to me. So not only does he physically feel better and like look better, but like his body is not killing him. And the thing about that too is like Jenny was watching. I haven't seen Jenny in person since we were young, stupid teenagers. And thank God there was no cell phones back then because nobody needs that evidence. And so she had been silently stalking me, watching, you know, my husband's change, because he's done a few videos with me and you can see he's not in pain anymore. He did a video jumping. And then I think it was the next day that she messaged me and she's like, Jill, I have fiber and I've had chronic pain disease for years. Hook me up with this collagen. And she bought one bottle. You know, us Gen X's were skeptical. We start with one bottle. And I told her, well, in your situation, I would definitely load. So I would do it 2 or 3 times a day if you've been so much in pain. And about 4 days later, she's like, Jill, I need more of it. Sign me up. We're getting the whole kit, because she's like, I can get out of bed. And she posted a picture, I think it's in the Ripple Effect group, of her feet after, I think it was about 15 or 20 days of taking Glow. And the difference, her feet were, you could see the pain in the picture. They were wrinkled and almost like a blue and no circulation. And now she has beautiful feet, like she's been and had a pedicure, and she's had less pain, and it is helping so much, and it's giving her confidence back, and she's trying new things, and she feels like she's regaining herself, right? It's like we're regaining our teenage ways together again. So it's pretty awesome. I can't say enough to people about this product. And I've tried all 3 flavors now. And if you have tried this collagen and you haven't tried the new pina colada enhanced flavor, and I'm not a pina colada person, okay? But this smells and tastes like pineapple. This is the best flavor. I was a wine consultant for 20 years. I'm going to say that confidently. This is the best flavor.
I love it. All those transferable skills. I've known Jill a long time, and I'm just so thrilled for you and your husband. And also I got to jump on with Jenny a couple nights ago, and she is just over the moon excited. As you were mentioning, she's, you know, suffered with fibromyalgia for many, many years and pain. And this has made the most difference. Very similar to my friend Beth, who after my first bottle, I said, I don't know if it's going to help you. It helped me. And she is walking without her cane and keeping up with her grandkids. So it's been incredible. Kacie, do you want to share your experience with the Glow?
Yeah, it was aside from hair and face and my nails growing faster and harder, the biggest impact that happened really quick that I noticed was I had hurt my meniscus, and I'd done everything, sort of, you know, gone to physiotherapy. I actually eventually gave up on that because it wasn't really working. So I just kind of learned to live for about 4 years with always a bit of pain in my knee. So mostly when I sat and I stood up or squatted or anything like that. So when my knee was bent. And I didn't actually notice, because it's harder to notice the absence of pain than the pain itself, I find. So well, I'm not exactly sure when it happened, but I can tell you when I noticed it. And it was 5 days after starting taking the collagen. And at that point in time, that was all I was taking. So I definitely know that's what it was. And I stood up off the couch on the Sunday afternoon on the 5th day. And I just went, oh my gosh, that didn't hurt. And it hasn't hurt since. And I'm just so amazed that it could something, I mean, all you can think when that happens is like, I really wish I knew about this 4 years ago, but I'm just happy I found it now.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And similar for me, if you had told me 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 1 year ago, when I was struggling with my plantar fasciitis, and that was actually the thing that got me taking the collagen, was a friend of mine said, oh my gosh, it's helped with my rosacea and my plantar fasciitis. And I was like, ooh. And then I talk about it's the gift that keeps on giving. So, you know, over time, same with hair. My hair wasn't falling out in the shower. I'd had surgery. I actually had a breast reduction right before COVID. And the surgeon said, you know, you have less than 10% chance of ever regaining feeling. The connective tissue is just too damaged. 2-3 months into taking the glow, and I regained feeling from my surgery, which I was not expecting. I also, my scars from my surgery that had, similar to what you were saying, Kacie, just kind of gave up on them. I noticed after a few weeks that they started fading, and now they're almost completely gone. I had a cookie burn. I don't know about anybody else, but I have very sensitive skin. And so if I have a burn, it's like there for life. And I had a cookie burn right there from Christmas time. And after 1 or 2 weeks, it was gone. And that was in August. So lots of these things that you start to discover as well when you're on the product, sometimes hearing what they're doing for people, you realize, oh my gosh, that's happening to me as well. So we always tell people before you start taking the products, take photos. I wish I took more photos. My good friend Leslie called me after 1 month, and she had varicose veins that went subdermal, and she actually couldn't find them. She was trying to take her after photo, and she had to look for the freckle on her leg because she was like, they're gone. They're gone. So can help with sleep, can help with inflammation, pain, as well as the beauty aspects as well. So it can just help with so many different things. That is our collagen. I know we talked about that because I feel like everyone shouts from the rooftop. There's a reason why this is our #1 selling product. So that is the collagen. I'd love to hear from you guys. You know, is there anything that you're dealing with in terms of pain or anything like that, or anybody that you can think of? I know for myself, my hip pain. So I talked about my feet, but actually my hip pain was the other thing that started to go away. And I know my mom and I have very similar genetics, and she also has hip pain. And so I said, oh my gosh, as soon as it worked for me, I was thinking of my mom, and then my friend who is in her 50s who owns a dance studio, and then my friend Beth with fibromyalgia. Like, you just can't stop thinking about who else it could help. So the next one we're going to talk about, Michelle, you touched upon, and that is our Mojo and our Zest. So this is the Zest. It comes in a vanilla lavender and a roasted peach. And then our Mojo comes in chocolate or Brazilian coffee. So I myself am a coffee lover. I've had coffee every morning, but coffee didn't love me. What I was noticing was that cup of coffee really didn't give me any energy. In fact, I think it made me more tired. It didn't love my digestion. And I actually got to the point where I was trying to cut it out of my life, which was very difficult. I wasn't successful in it. However, then I switched to the Mojo, and that was back in September, and I've never gone back. And the first thing I noticed with the Mojo was that my energy levels were going up, and that I was having more focus, and my mood was better. So I've been an human since I was very little. I was the shyest one in kindergarten, let me tell you. And this has helped me immensely. So this is called a nootropic. So it's going to help you with 3 different things. The first thing it's going to help you with is your energy. So it's going to be a stabilized, clean energy. So I know Michelle talked about energy drinks, which tend to have a lot of caffeine, as well as usually a lot of artificial colors and flavors, and they're not great for us. So this is a clean energy. It is all natural, and it has chromium and L-theanine in it. And so the second thing it's going to help is with your mood. So it's going to help with your happy hormones to fire them up. So your dopamine and serotonin. And I've heard from so many people. I was just talking to a mom of 4 yesterday who said she actually tried the Mojo and loved it. And then because, you know, we're all like skeptics, or sometimes we try and find an alternative, she admitted to me that she actually went out and tried a few other nootropic drinks. And she was like, none of them did the same as the Mojo and the Zest. So she's back to taking the Mojo and the Zest. The third thing it's going to do is help curb your appetite and boost your metabolism. So I love that I can just swap out my coffee in the morning. And this is what I call a functional coffee. So put in the chat if you're a coffee drinker. The other thing I noticed was that my Starbucks and coffee shop bill went way down. After a few months, I'd realized I had not been through a Starbucks drive-through since I started. So I no longer needed that second or third cup in the day. The Zest is great in the summer. You can throw ice in it. It's great for that. And this one, are you laughing, Jill? Oh, she's drinking.
Because I'm drinking it right now because I am exactly the same with the Starbucks. Okay. Like I probably could own a house with the Starbucks I bought. Okay. And I don't drink coffee anymore. So I drink a Mojo in the morning. And I noticed that I wasn't drinking coffee because we buy K-Cups because we are picky coffee drinkers. And my husband is like, you don't need to order them this month. For some reason, there are so many. I haven't ordered them in 3 months. Like that's how long, like he's still drinking coffee, but I'm not. And then I always have a Zest in the afternoon, but I didn't go to the gym today. And that's normally when I have it. But I went to the movies with my daughter. So I still have a lot of stuff to accomplish tonight. And this is like my favorite one. And I make it just like the refresher at Starbucks. So I make it with the lavender vanilla and I buy the frozen dragon fruits and I throw it in there. And does that not look exactly the same? And like, it's amazing. And there's no sugar in it except for the dragon fruit. Like, so like, I felt like that was me. Like, my Starbucks addiction is gone. Thank you. Thank you for saving me money.
Yeah. That dragon fruit refresher recipe. Do that up for us. Kacie, do you want to share about the Zest or the Mojo? I know, Michelle, you love it. Anything else you want to add, Kacie?
Sure. Like the Mojo, I don't really drink coffee anymore. And I don't need it. Like when I first started with the Mojo, I'd have a Mojo, then I'd have a coffee at like 11. I think I was just doubting that it was going to work out or something, but that only lasted a couple of days. And now I'm just Mojo and my enhanced creamer because I'm obsessed with that. I always was putting MCT oil into my coffee, and it was like the one I had was really good. It was mixed with coconut oil, but honestly, it made my coffee oily, it was like someone melted a lip chap in it. Like I kept drinking it for the health reasons, but this is so much better. This reminds me of like the good old days. And if you don't like it this strong, like I use the whole package, but sometimes when I'm not, because I was a milk drinker in my coffee, not cream, but like when I was a teenager, I would get like cream and sugar, and it just kind of reminds me of having a good old double when I was 16 years old. It's like flashback to when calories didn't matter and all of that sort of stuff. So I love the enhanced, I love the Mojo, and now I'm 1 Mojo a day. Sometimes I'm not every day for Zest. I am pretty sensitive to caffeine type products though, so I have to like cut it off at 4 o'clock or I won't sleep. So it's just more of, you know, I'm busy at work because the mojo keeps me going right until the end of the work day. So zest is something I usually do on the weekends because I have more time to think about an afternoon beverage.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And we also love the Enhance, which is the MCT amino acids, really great brain food. And everybody, you're your own barista. So my magic formula is I actually do half of an Enhance. It's like the perfect amount for me. And then I froth a little milk and put it on top. So that's the zest and the mojo. My ex-husband, he struggles with a lot of mental health challenges, bipolar, depression, social anxiety, and mostly just sort of a very negative outlook on life. So like, you know, we want to help the people in our life. I said, you know, will you try the zest for me? He doesn't drink coffee, as well as our focus. And our focus is a B vitamin and a lion's mane mushroom. So if you Google lion's mane mushroom, tons of health benefits. He took this one day and sent me a selfie from work and he was smiling. He said his coworkers were like, "Why are you so happy today?" And a month later, he was like, "Can I please get more? Like, I feel so much happier than I've been in such a long time." So this product is absolutely amazing. I'm just going to touch upon one more and then we can take some questions. And that is our Optimize. This is a proteolytic enzyme. And this was actually developed for pro athletes to get on the field faster when they've had an injury. And this is going to act like a Pac-Man on the rogue protein and inflammatory issues in your body. So Michelle was saying, you know, she's beat up her body over the years. This one is going to help, like a Pac-Man, help kind of repair your body. So once again, life happens. So I don't know, I think it was 4 days ago, I woke up and I just had this pain in my leg. And I was like, I don't know what happened. I think I maybe like hit my leg. I was trying to load the canoe all by myself. And I think I maybe like, you know, hit it and I didn't realize. And so I started loading on the Optimize and it healed so quickly. I also was power washing the deck. And boy, do you not know when you use those muscles that you haven't used in like a year. And so I take the Optimize for that. Leah, who was on, I don't know if she can come on and share her story. Leah, are you on or are you just listening? I can share your story, but if you happen to be on. Oh, there she is.
I'm trying. I'm leaning back in my car because I'm sitting at the ferry terminal.
Oh my goodness.
Apparently I might get on the 9 o'clock ferry.
So we have to get a ferry to come back. So
yeah. But yeah, I started taking the Optimize back in March, and that was the first product I used. And I was in a car accident just over 4 years ago now. And I have basically been in chronic pain since then. So lots of back pain, neck pain. I couldn't, like, as you can see, my arm's going over my shoulder now. I couldn't do that before. And yeah, I had to kind of stop coaching a lot of my fitness classes because I couldn't do any kind of impact work. I had to slow down my dancing. I was still working out and trying to do the things that I loved, but it was always causing me pain. Even just getting out of bed was painful. And so I started taking that in the middle of, or closer to the end of March, probably. And yeah, within 5 days, I was kind of in the middle of a fitness challenge at the time. So I was doing 5K runs, working on my progression for my speed. And about halfway through that challenge was kind of when that 5-day mark hit of taking the Optimize. And I started my run. I wasn't in any pain. I finished my run. I wasn't in any pain. I got out of bed the next day, which is usually the worst part about working out for me when I was in that much pain, was getting up the next day. And yeah, I've been back to doing all my activities without having to think about it, without having to stop myself kind of like mid get up or mid lift or anything like that. It's just, yeah, it's been super amazing.
Oh my gosh. I love hearing your story. And the Optimize is a newer love for us. And I believe, Leah, you also mentioned you were on a call a few months later, and you realized that you kind of skipped allergy season, or allergies were way less, and you weren't having headaches anymore. So when we say the gift that keeps on giving, it can really do that. I'm sitting here. I actually lift my broken arm fully. Oh my goodness. Michelle, that's amazing.
Yeah, I never even realized until she said that about her car accident. I had a golf accident with Kacie. Broke my arm. Broke my arm, couple ribs. But I couldn't still lift my arm in April to shave. I had to get Will to hold my arm up for me. But I'm now actually, I just realized it now, I'm actually fully extracting my arm fully up now to be able to shave my own armpit.
And this is the cool thing when we get on and we share about our experiences. Sometimes you experience and you see how much more it's doing than you even know.
Yeah.
So that's so awesome. And just in that vein, my mom, who started using the collagen, and you guys, when we talk about skeptical, my mom actually said, "Is this snake oil?" I said, "No, Mom, this is collagen." It's like the fastest growing industry in the health world. Is really good for you. Just take it. And so she took it for a month, and my parents are very active, and they went down to Arizona, and she actually called me from Arizona and said, "Can you send me more of that collagen down to Arizona? Because it's really helped." And she didn't realize until she stopped taking it for a couple of weeks and her hip pain came back. And my parents, when you open their cupboard, it's like all it is vitamins and supplements. So my mom said, this is the first one I've taken that I can actually notice a real difference. So that is a few of our favorite products. We're just going to wrap up and share how you can get your hands on them, as well as take any questions that there might have.
Benny,
so
can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yeah.
And so I got the Optimize for my husband, again, to complement with the Glow, because, he needs some repair of his body, right? But I don't know if you can see, my old dog here is on the floor, and Axel is not small. Okay. Axel is easy 130 pounds. He is over 10 years old. And 2 years ago, it was in the middle of COVID. He had an episode where he couldn't walk. And like, if he doesn't get up for food, something is wrong. So we've always been very gingerly with him since then, because we know he's big and he's old and we want him to live to 142. And so I saw him probably about a month ago, and he was like, he wasn't chasing his young girlfriend. And that's when we know something is wrong. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give him an Optimize. And because he's such a big dog, I wasn't really worried about the dosage. And honestly, he's eaten chocolate his whole life. He's got an ironclad stomach. So I wasn't really worried. So I slipped it in a piece of cheese. And I got to tell you that one Optimize for this dog every day lets him chase that puppy, who's still under 2 years old, around every single day. And you can just see it in his face that he's not in pain. He just doesn't want to give up and like lie on the floor. Like, I can't believe that I can give the same pill to my husband that I can to my old dog. It just, and they work. And I just want everybody to know that, because I find that when you take dogs to the vet, they charge you a gazillion dollars and it doesn't necessarily work. And we have some options in our hands that we can try before we go do the medical route.
Kacie, do you want to share about that too?
Yeah, so maybe it was you, Jill, that I heard that from the first time. I don't think so. There was a smaller dog, but you could probably give your dog more. I actually sent the label to my vet and asked him what he thought, because my dog was taking 2 gabapentin a day, just for arthritis. Same thing. She's a 14-year-old lab, just has trouble walking around. And he said, it's absolutely fine for your dog. And he prescribed her at 80 pounds for a pill and a half a day, just so you know. Okay. So if he does get stiff or something, I mean, if it's working, great, but you would have some room there based on his weight. So anyways,
when he flared up, I gave him collagen, but he didn't like the flavor of it. But for 3 days, I made him eat collagen on the chicken, because I was so worried, because you know, when your pet, it's like when your kid looks at you, you know that something is wrong and you just need to help them, right?
Yeah, for sure. And so what happened with Mocha, it was a week later, and she had been like stepping out of my truck, like going halfway down and then one more step. And she just leaps out of it now and jumping around, rolling on the ground, This wasn't something that I overly loved, but she's getting back on the couches now. She hadn't done that for about 4 months. So she's really, like, honestly, it gave her back, like, I'd say a good couple years. She is back to the shape she was then. Loving her walks, wagging her tail. So really impactful there. And my husband Will's been taking it too. And his overall pain level from working and doing a hard job every day, he's down to, you know, I mean, he still injures himself the odd time, but his day-to-day pain, he says, is gone.
That's so awesome. I forgot about the dogs and the pets. When we say the gift that keeps on giving, it really does. So there's a few different ways you can get your hands on the products, and you can order the products as a customer. And I know when you reach out to whoever invited you to this call, they might have a few discount coupons for you. And then the way that you can also get your hands on the products is to order as an associate, and then you get a free website. That is what I recommend to everyone, because for me, this opportunity has meant financial breathing room. And I don't know about anybody on here, but I know, Kacie, you work in the financial world. Is there anybody right now who couldn't use a little financial breathing room?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are complaining. I mean, the costs for everything are going up. And that's sort of what, you know, my decision, right when I talked to Benny, I was like, I'm not really interested in another job. I'm overwhelmed already with how much I do with my own job. But thinking about it, it's like, sure, it's working really well for me. What's the harm in sending that information to more people? And if they want to do it as well, then we all share in the wealth and health. So health was my first goal, and sure, making some money to help subsidize the cost of groceries or maybe send me on a trip here and there, I'll take it.
Absolutely. And I know for so many people, you know, $200 extra a month to $500 extra a month to $5,000 extra a month can make a huge difference. I'm a single mom, and for me, financial breathing room has meant, you know, the difference between, you know, my son being able to be in summer camp this summer, being able to get the birthday party he really wanted, travel. I also have been able to put, you know, thousands of dollars in savings, pay off debt. It's made a huge, huge difference in my life. So whether or not, you know, you're looking for a little extra income, or even if you don't even know if you're going to like the products, you might as well get that website, because if you do, then you have it. So I always like to tell people, you know, think of your favorite restaurant. If you have a favorite restaurant out there, sorry, the sun is just glistening right now. It's amazing. So for example, Trent and I love sushi. Our favorite sushi restaurant is in Victoria. If you go, you must get the dynamite roll. However, when you go and get that dynamite roll, we are not going to get commission from anything that anybody buys. But when you love something, whether it's Netflix or your favorite appliance or your favorite health product, you just want to share that with the people that you love. And that's what happened to me. A few of my friends reached out, and I was like, okay, if a few of my really good friends are sharing about this collagen, there must be something to it. So I encourage you to reach out to whoever invited you tonight, and they'll give you the website link to either order as a customer or already order as an associate. We have a few extra minutes. Does anyone have any questions for me about any of the products or anything of the business side of things? I'm happy to share more either right now or another time. Anybody have any questions? Or Kacie or Michelle, any questions that you know people might have?
I get asked a lot about monthly orders. Like, do you have to continuously place an order?
Yeah. So I always recommend that people order on subscription. And that way you get an extra 10% off either as a customer or an associate. You also get another 8% off when you order five or more products. So we tend to order all our favorite products at once to get 18% savings. And then you can turn that subscription off at any time. It's super easy. It's funny, I was canceling my food subscription because I'm up at Trent's this week, and man, you like have to click so many different buttons and like do all these things. You just go into your back office and turn it off and on whenever you please. So it's super easy. But who doesn't love getting an extra 18% off? That's what I always suggest. I'm always up for saving people money and making people money. Sorry, my shadows are really going here. Awesome. Well, I want to thank everyone for jumping on. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. I'm going to send out some before and after pictures to Kacie and Michelle, and they're going to send them to you. You're going to see my hair. They're going to see my friend Leslie's veins we talked about. I can also share Leah's testimony as well as the scars. So I just find that kind of seeing the pictures kind of can sometimes be more than the words. We can't show you necessarily how I'm sleeping better, but I can show you how my hair has changed. And also my friend Chantel's face, you can just see the difference. When someone is in pain, their face looks different.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited that you got to be on tonight together. And I'm also so excited that Jill came on, and Kacie and Michelle, thanks for sharing, and Trent. And I know Stephanie was on as well. So I love that we have all these amazing people who can jump on and share as well. So please reach.
Thanks for having us.
What's that?
I said, thanks for hosting for us.
Anytime. And thanks for bearing with my summer technology challenges. If anybody else has forgot their own password, I think I need to start taking the focus. Okay. Night, everybody.
Night. Thank you.
Thank you.